Today's lesson is on shape and numeric patterns. So this is a review of some lessons that we did earlier in the year. So the first thing we're going to talk about are non-numeric patterns. A non-numeric pattern means there's no numbers in the pattern. It's an order of figures that follow a rule. So you can have two types of patterns. You can have a repeating pattern or a growing pattern. So here you see we have a heart, triangle, diamond, then a heart, triangle, diamond. This pattern repeats itself, okay? So that's a repeating pattern. Then you have a growing pattern. This pattern does not repeat. Instead, each new circle or each new pattern adds something. So here you'll see one circle, then you'll see three circles. If you notice, the bottom row has two circles. Then you have six circles, and in the bottom row there are three. So you have 1, 2, 3. The next pattern has 10 circles. There are 4 in the bottom row. So each row increases, it grows. So the next pattern would have 5 circles in the bottom row, 4 circles in the next row, 3 circles, then 2 circles, then 1 circle. So let's see if we can figure out this pattern. So we have an L shape, but it's going in different directions. So first we have it going up, then we have it upside down to the left, upside down to the right, going up to the left, going down to the left, going down to the right. So now we have this pattern. So I think the next pattern would be the L. So then this would be the next pattern. So you just have to follow the patterns, right? So what did I observe? So it was upright, upside down, upright, upright, upside down, upright. Okay, let's look at this one. So we have a triangle, a square, a hexagon, no, a pentagon, hexagon, septagon. All right, I see a pattern. We have 3 sides, then 4 sides, right? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So our next pattern would have 8 sides and then 9 sides. So this is a growing pattern. Each new shape adds a side. So we have a growing pattern. This one was a repeating pattern. Up, down, left, right, up, down, left, right. Okay. What does this look like to you? A repeating pattern or a growing pattern? To me, it looks like it's a growing pattern, right? So we have 1 square, then we have 2 rows of 2 squares, then we have 3 rows of 3 squares. So our next pattern would be 4 rows of 4 squares. So this is a growing pattern. Each new figure adds a new row of squares. So we would have the next one, right? The next 3 figures, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 rows of 5. What are we up to? 1, 2, and 1 more. And we know that's the next one too. So then we know we would have 6 rows of 6. So while I'm drawing that, how many squares would be in the 9th figure of this pattern? So it didn't ask me to draw the 9th figure of the pattern. They want to know how many squares. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One more. Okay, this is not so hard if you think about it. Because if you think, this right here is just 1 times 1, right? And here we have 2 rows of 2, which is 2 times 2, so there's 4. Here we have 3 times 3, so there's 9. This figure has 4 times 4, so we have 16 squares. I'm not counting them. I know I have 5 rows of 5, so I know I have 25 squares. Here I know I have 6 rows of 6, so I have 36 squares. So the ninth figure would be 9 rows of 9. 9 times 9 is 81 squares. Growing pattern. Okay, sometimes we can use multiples to figure out what a certain figure will be. So it says, look at the pattern below. The repeating pattern has 3 figures, heart, triangle, diamond. What if you want to know the 20th figure in this pattern? You could extend the pattern, but the easiest thing to do is to use your knowledge of multiples. Since there are 3 figures in this pattern, all multiples of 3 will be diamonds. So this would be the 3rd figure. This diamond would be the 6th figure, the 9th figure, the 12th, the 15th, all the way up to the 18th, right? So if I know that this is the 18th and I'm repeating, then the heart would be the 19th. The diamond would be the 20th, right? If you can't figure using multiples, you could always draw the pattern out. All right, so we have 4 figures, right? So this is figure number 1, 2, 3, 4. We need to know which one of these is going to be the 18th figure in the pattern. Well, I know that this arrow right here will be the 4th, the 8th, the 12th, and the 16th, because this is all multiples of 4. So every 4th figure is going to be the arrow. So the 4th, the 8th, the 12th, the 16th, right? So if I know that this is the 16th, and I go back to the beginning, Pac-Man would be the 17th, the X would be the 18th. This would be the 19th, and the arrow would be the 20th, right? Because this is every 4th figure, which would be the 34th figure. Okay, so I know that this arrow going to the left is the 3rd, the 6th, the 9th, the 12th, the 15th, and so on, right? So it's multiples of 3. Well, guess what? 33 is a multiple of 3, right? 3 times 11 equals 33. So I know this is the 33rd, which is the 34th. If this is 33, we go back to the beginning. This is the 34th figure. Okay, which would be the 40th figure. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cupcakes, right? So this cupcake right here would be 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. It's the 40th figure. Which one would be the 27th? 1, 2, 3, 4. So the necklace would be 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, right? So if this is 24, the dress is 25, the shoe is 26, the bow is the 27th, which would make sense because the necklace is the 28th. So that's a way, using multiples to figure out your patterns. All right, non-numeric patterns is a list of numbers that follows a rule. Patterns can include rules with one operation or more than one operation. So we're going to talk about 2 different things here. The first is a single operation. So if your first term is 2, and the rule is to add 4, or n plus 4, that just means add 4, you'll notice a pattern. 2 plus 4 is 6, 10, 14, 18, 22. Each time we're adding 4. And you might start to notice some things like all of your numbers in this pattern are going to be even, because an even number plus an even number will give you an even number. Here we have multiple operations. So our first term is 2, but now we have 2 things to do. First, we have to add 3, then we have to multiply times 2. So 2 plus 3 equals 5. Then you go to your next rule. 5 times 2 is 10. Then we add again. So 10 plus 3 is 13. Now we multiply. 13 times 2 is 26. 26 plus 3 is 29. Here you have an even odd, right? So even, odd, even, odd, even, odd. So when you have rules, sometimes you end up with some patterns. Okay, let's see. Let's extend it and see if we can identify. So it doesn't tell us what the rule is. Let's see if we can figure out what the rule is. So when you go from 7 to 10, you're increasing. So we know we're going to be adding. Nothing times 7 equals 10, so it's not multiplication. So 7, 8, 9, 10. So it looks like we're going to add 3. Let's say 10 plus 3 is 13. 3 plus 3 is 16. So definitely. So 16 plus 3, 16, 17, 18, 19, right? 19 plus 3, 19, 20, 21, 22. And then 22 plus 3 is 25. Okay. What's the pattern? Do you see? Do we have an odd, even, odd, even, odd, even, odd? So it's odd, then even. All right, let's see if we can find out the pattern. So the rule was add 3. Are we adding here? No, we're not, because our numbers are decreasing. So what are they decreasing by? Well, if you want to figure that out, you can take these first two terms and subtract them from each other. 7 minus 1 is 6, so it's subtract 6. There's our rule. Let's make sure. 41 minus 35. 11, yeah, sure. So now we know, all right, if our rule is subtract 6, what's 29 minus 6? 23. 23 minus 6, gotta borrow. 13 minus 6 is 7. No, 8. 18. No, I was right. 17. 17 minus 6, 11. All of them are odd, right? 7, 1, 5, 9, 3, 7, 1. They're all odd numbers. Okay, let's see. So now they're going to give us the rule. The rule is to subtract 9. So 75 minus 9. Gotta borrow here. 66 minus 9. Oh, I can't believe I made that a 7. 57 minus 9. 48 minus 9. And they all, let's see, look at this one. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0. And you can see they decrease each time by 1. Ooh, we got 2 rules. Multiply by 3, subtract by 7. So our first term is 4. 4 times 3 is 12. Now we're going to do 12 minus 7, which is 5. 5 times 3 equals 15. 15 minus 7 is 8. 8 times 3 is 24. So it's every other term we do multiply, subtract, multiply, subtract, multiply, subtract. All right, what would be the unknown in this pattern? So let's see if we can figure out the rule first. So 17 to 21. Are we adding? So 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. It looks like we're adding 4. When we go from 21 to 19, are we still adding 4? No, we're not. Now we're subtracting. So what's 21 minus 19? 11, so we're subtracting by 2, right? So it's add 4, subtract 2. All right, so we know we have plus 4 minus 2 plus 4 minus 2 plus 4 minus 2. We've got to add 4. 23 plus 4 equals 27. Okay, so it could be B and it could be A. It can't be C or D. So now we've got to look. 27, we know the next thing is to subtract 2. 27 minus 2 is 25. Has to be A. You've got to work your pattern out in order to solve these multiple choice. All right, what would be the rule for this pattern? When we go from 4 to 8, we are adding 4, right? Or are we multiplying 2? So it could be add 4 or multiply times 2. So it could be any one of these so far. All right, when we go from 8 to 10, what are we doing? We're not adding 4, and we're certainly not multiplying by 2. We are adding 2, right? So plus 4 plus 2. Which one of these rules? B, add 4, add 2. Okay, let's see, we got 2 more to go. Look at the pattern, which number will be the 10th term in the pattern? So this is the first, the second, the third, the fourth, the fifth, the sixth. We need to get all the way to 10. So we need 7, 8, 9, 10. 87 to 83. 87 minus 83, we get 4, so it's subtract 4. Are we still subtracting 4? 83 minus 79. Yes. So it looks like we're subtracting 4 all the way through. So 67, let's go back to here, right? Because we want to start here at 67. 67 minus 4 is 63. Now don't be fooled, that's choice D. But that's only the 7th term in the pattern, and we are looking for the 10th term. So we've got to get all the way to here. So D, sorry, you're not correct. Could be one of these. Let's keep going. 63 minus 4. 59. Again, a choice, but that's 8. 59 minus 4. 55. Okay, 55, that goes here. Minus 4. You see how I keep track, by the way? So I know I'm keeping track. 55 minus 4, 51. The correct answer is A. All right, last one, the 24th figure in this pattern. So here's the first, the second, the third, the fourth, the fifth. So every fifth figure is going to be the seaweed. So this is going to be figure 5, 10, 15, and 20. So if this is figure 20, then I come back to the beginning. Here's 21, 22, 23. The mermaid is figure 24. Those are different types of shape and number problem patterns that you might see.